Early alarm. Meetings with the boss. Monday, I hate Monday. Hang on. Monday? Isn't it Chelsea away? Monday Blues, what are they when Eddie Howe's Mags are playing on a Monday night down in London? We've got a bit of Chelsea away. That's right, we're going to hear that one single chant from those Cockneys down in London on Monday night, and it proves an opportunity for Newcastle to just keep the momentum going. But we're going to be talking on this video how Eddie Howe, who changed his tactics a little bit against Wolves, might have to go back to what we traditionally know Eddie Howe's team to do. Curious? I know you are. Even why I've got this weird hat on. If you are Newcastle fans, you know what to do. Stick around for a lovely little dollop of black and white banter. Welcome back to Black White Banter, you lovely, jubbly, bubbly Newcastle fans. I hope all is well. I hope you've survived what has been a pretty brutal weekend, and I know there is an international break on the horizon after the FA Cup, and I am absolutely dreading it like I do every single international break, because my weekend has pretty much looked like this. Yeah, that's right. If anyone needs any knitted wear, maybe a birthday present, anniversary, you know, you were bit late to Mother's Day, let me know, because I am now not only in the cleanest house I've ever had, but also pretty experienced in knitting. Give me Eddie Howe's Mags back ASAP. But Newcastle fans, if you are new around here, and you are just trying to seek every little bit of Newcastle content you can because there's been barely anything to talk about all weekend, then do me a little favour. Drop us a little likey, Lou. That goes a very long way. It just helps this video go to a couple more eyes, and whack that subscribe button if you like my opinion by the end of this video. That would be normally where I would insert the words, there will be a match vlog coming for Chelsea. But Sky Sports, if I haven't already said so, I owe you guys a beer, because you decided to change the match to a Monday night 8 PM kickoff in London, so I could not go, because I have a very busy week of work this week and I could not take any time off. So if we win at Chelsea, which is not something I've ever seen on 4 visits to Stamford Bridge I've been on now, I will be even more grateful for not allowing me to go, Sky, you lovely bunch of pricks. Yes, I will not be at Chelsea. It's just too much. Arsenal, 8 PM on a Saturday. I made that one work because I was able to travel and stay over. Could not take any time off this week, and I'm just fed up. I'm fed up of ridiculous. I mean, anyone going on the bus tomorrow, a lot of my mates have decided not to go for the same sort of reasons, work and whatnot. You're getting back at, 5 in the morning, depending on traffic, getting back from Chelsea. Ridiculous. We are getting shafted time after time, and we are one of the furthest away grounds in the north than any other, what I'm trying to say, long-winded way of doing it, we are the furthest trip for most fans because we are the furthest north. That's what I meant to say. And we've got to clock up the most miles for so many away days. It's ridiculous. So I won't be there, but of course that means match reaction will come a little bit faster. Now, what I will say is I've got this weird hat on because I was making some content with it earlier. I got this when I was absolutely mortal outside Rangers pre-season. Can't even remember buying it. So yeah, I decided to leave it on for this video. Why not? This is what boredom on a weekend's done to my weird brain. So, Chelsea, first and foremost, I'm just going to say I do not think this is the most straightforward game that I'm oozing with confidence, we're going to go there and win, that the media and journalists and fans are making Chelsea out to be. I think, yes, they are not playing up to par. Yes, they've got a ridiculously massive, expensive team of individuals who have cost stupid amounts of money. Stupid. Caicedo, 120, Enzo Fernandez. The list just goes on. But I do think they've turned a corner more recently, and I think that's what makes this a harder game. I watched the cup final against Liverpool, very, very unlucky. Missed some big chances, ran Liverpool all the way to the dying minutes until Van Dijk scored that header, and they were unfortunate not to take the trophy that day. And I think Chelsea are a team that are going to be dependent on basically two players really showing up if they are going to give us a really, really tough evening at Stamford Bridge. First one, of course, is Cole Palmer. We know who he is. He's a bit of a cocky prick with his shivery, he's always cold celebration. Not a big fan of that. He doesn't seem, I don't know, if he plays for you, you love it. I'm being a fickle football fan saying I don't like the way he acts. But he can really turn it on. 10 goals, 7 assists. And if he's in the mood, Chelsea are normally in the mood. And some of their fans on match previews have said exactly the same. Now, we are going to be playing Dan Burn against Cole Palmer, because Livramento cannot play there. He's not going to play Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall, of course, can't play. Let's scratch that one off this video. I'm not going to scratch it off the video. We all make mistakes. Hall, obviously, not that he'd get a look in anyway. It's going to be Dan Burn. We cannot debate that. He's not going to play a centre-back at left-back. So how Dan Burn deals with Palmer is going to be a big say in this. We have seen Dan Burn cope against pacey players okay in the past. I'll never forget Arsenal last season when we drew 0-0 against Saka. He had an awful 10 minutes to start, and then he settled down. He put in a couple of crunch and slide tackles, and we need Dan Burn to play decent. We do. If Palmer wins battles early, if Palmer gets the better of Burn for most of this match, we've got a problem. But equally, I think the work from Joe Willock, who I hope continues in the team, I don't see why he wouldn't, is also going to be important in that. And Anthony Gordon. Whatever support Dan Burn gets is going to be crucial in us getting points, because Gusto, at right back for them, is also pretty handy. He will get forward at every opportunity. He's very, very quick, and he also contributes a lot of chances in their score and their goal contribution charts. Chances created charts, should I say. That's a key battle. Their right-hand side versus our left-hand side is a key battle. Conor Gallagher is the other player that, if he is firing, and he's been consistently firing for them, we've got a problem. We need to make sure we put one on Conor Gallagher as a midfield three of what you would assume is Bruno, Longstaff and Willock all throughout this match. Would you believe me if I said Conor Gallagher was actually higher than Palmer for chances created? Yes, he does all that donkey work, Gallagher, and he covers so many blades of grass. And can I just say, is there any more of an Eddie Howe footballer than Conor Gallagher? I think there's a photo of Conor Gallagher underneath Eddie Howe player in some sort of Geordie dictionary. I genuinely believe, and I would love to see him at Newcastle if I'm being totally honest, if Chelsea need a bit of homegrown money for FFP, not that Chelsea stick to any sort of FFP anyway, Longstaff out, get us some money from homegrown, bring Gallagher in, just saying. But yes, he is. I love him. I think he's a really, really good player, and he's starting to blossom now under Pochettino for Chelsea and prove how important he is. Keep those two players quiet, or quiet as possible. Win the battles with them, and we've got a good chance of winning this football match. I'm not worried about Enzo Fernandez. Not worried about him at all. I might come to eat them words. I do not think he's shown the money that he's been that's been spent on him at all since he's joined the Premier League, since he won the World Cup. Do not believe that hype at all. And we've got plenty of players that can hurt them. Now, what I'm really interested, as I said at the start of this video, how Eddie Howe sets up for this match. Now, against Wolves, for anyone who didn't notice, I was going to do a video on it, but I chose to do a video on Joe Willock instead earlier in the week. What we did differently, yes, Joe Willock was key in us winning against Wolves, but Eddie Howe brought in a slightly deeper style that we have not seen really since Eddie Howe's first season in charge, when he kept us up from relegation, of more of a counter-attacking style, not where we press from the front from the first minute, but where we pick our battles to do so and hit them on the break. And it worked against Wolves. We were so much better defensively in the midfield, dropping a little bit deeper and getting a little bit more compact, but also we hit Wolves on a couple of occasions and they couldn't deal with Anthony Gordon racing at them and Isak racing at them. And it was it was a change in tactics that we haven't seen for a while from Howe. Now, going into this match, I do not think that system will work. I think Eddie Howe needs to go back to what we know out this Newcastle team as a high pressing, intense style of play where we try and play on the front foot and we move with our press with every opportunity in a disciplined manner. And the reason I say that is because this Chelsea team is one of the lowest defensive lines in the Premier League. It is. It's. I've run the numbers as I always try and do for these videos. Chelsea will sit quite deep, so we can't hit them that way. We can't look at this game like Aston Villa when they continued playing a high line. We screwed them over. Unless Pochettino changes something, they will sit quite deep and they'll play it out from the back. On that note, they are also one of the highest possession teams in the league. They are in the top 6 for possession. And I'll share all these graphics on the screen. They are going to have lots of the football. We need to get in their faces. And why do we need to get in their faces when they have all of the football? Because Chelsea make mistakes. Chelsea are just behind relegation-threatened Sheffield United on errors in Premier League matches this season. If we press correctly and we get in their faces and we rush their centre-backs and we rush their midfielders, we can win some key battles. And if there is one team with fresh legs, with Joe Willock, with Bruno, with Longstaff, who can press well and press smart, it is Eddie Howe's Newcastle United. And Chelsea, if they're not quite in the races and firing, might not be able to deal with that, and that might be something we can cash in on. These are all factors where I think Eddie Howe needs to go back to what we know this Newcastle team always have been. Our identity is intensity, you know, that cringe line that's been used a lot now about Newcastle. That's what we need to go back to, and that will stand us in a very good opportunity in this match, which I think will be a close game. Now, team news for me. Defence picks itself. Of course, it's going to be Livramento, Byrne, left back, Shea and Botman. Botman looked back to his best against Wolves. Long may that continue. Fabian Shea, just keep doing what you keep doing. We've talked about Dan Byrne. Now, Livramento is different to Trippier. And yes, every Newcastle fan watching this preview might say, well, I'm not worried about that change. Livramento, look what he can do. He carries the ball. He scores wonder goals against Wolves. Yes, but don't forget, Newcastle fans, that Trippier has been part of a system that has now been everything Eddie Howe and this team has known for 2 years. So now, Jacob Murphy, if he plays, or Almira on that right, has to learn to play with Livramento. Livramento is going to want to bring the ball inwards rather than always whip the ball in. We will miss Kieran Trippier in this football match. I don't care what anyone says. Livramento will offer us something different, which I hope works well. Scares the midfielders and the defenders when he comes inside like he did against Wolves and makes a nuisance of himself. But Trippier is one of the highest assist registers in the Premier League this season. You will miss that in a football match. So we are going to have a different set piece taker. We're going to need balls into the box. We are from somewhere. Whether Livramento adapts his game a little bit more to do more of that, it's going to be a different dynamic, and it's a one we're all excited to see Livramento playing. Of course we are, but that's going to change things. Midfield, Bruno, you've just had your baby. We're delighted for you, but please make sure you get some sleep on the flight or the bus. You get a bit of kip because we need you. When Bruno is firing, Newcastle United are firing. We're delighted. Your baby's cute as hell, over the moon for you and your missus. Happy days, another Geordie in the family. But let's get back to football. I know that makes me sound like a right selfish prick, but Eddie Howe's mags need Bruno to be firing. And I've got no doubts. I was reminded on social media that when Bruno last had a child, we went and won away at Tottenham 24 hours later. That's got to be a good omen, surely. Longstaff needs to improve. This is a match where Conor Gallagher will show Longstaff exactly what he should be doing in a football match to better himself as an English midfielder. That's what we need more of. And Joe Willock is going to keep getting sharper and sharper and sharper. He was absolutely brilliant against Wolves in what he brought us back to the team. More of the same, son. Who would I play on the right-hand side? I'd stick with Jacob Murphy. He's dangerous. He likes to get a shot off. You've got Almiron as an impact substitute. Isak's going to play, and Anthony Gordon. Just get in these Chelsea faces like you've never done before, and we will force mistakes and get that football back. That's what style I want to see. So, without further ado, let's very quickly get into some black and white banter. Stats. I never get sick of that tune. This is a really odd one. Chelsea have not lost a home game in March since 2001. How can a team go that many years not losing in March? So we need to correct that. We need to correct that on Monday night and put that one to bed, that 23-year record. That's a bit of a random one. One of a more negative one. Newcastle have conceded 29 goals away from home. Only Sheffield United, who have got the reputation of the biggest bully, the biggest whip boys, that's not the word. One of the worst teams in the Premier League to play in the Premier League defensively and just in general. We are only second to them for goals away from home. We haven't kept a clean sheet now for absolute time, and something needs to change there. And to finish on this one, Newcastle United, his record at Stamford Bridge is absolutely woeful. 20 defeats and 7 draws at Stamford Bridge. It is not a happy hunting ground for Newcastle fans, even your older fan watching this video, especially not in the Premier League era. So all of these records need to be broken. Of course, we all remember Papias Cissé's wonder goal. We'll never forget that one. More of the same from that, from someone like Anthony Gordon pinging it in from the left-hand side would be nice. I'm going to go for this one. I'm going to go for a score draw. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think it's going to be an interesting tactical game. I'm fascinated to see how this one pans out. We do have enough in the locker to beat these after 9 days recovery, but Chelsea are better than I think at the moment than some people are giving them so much credit for. I'll go for a score draw. I'll go for 2-2, but I do think Newcastle, if we on our game, can sneak it. Let us know your predictions down below. Let us know what you think about how I think we should tactically set up and some of the numbers I've chucked at you on this video. And whack that subscribe if you haven't already for my reaction in the aftermath of the game. And if you haven't already, get Black White Banter across all social media. You might realise why I'm wearing this hat that does not fit at all, because my head's absolutely ginormous. I'll see you on the next video, Newcastle fans, and fingers crossed we are toasting a lovely Monday night with 3 points down in London. Oh yeah, lads!